It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. All right, here we go. A couple of stories here out about the different health care bills being thrown out by Republicans. I think someone said Democrats. Was it Schumer who said, Schumer or somebody said, maybe it wasn't Schumer, but some Democrat yesterday said the subsidies are going to expire. We're not going to have anything done by the 1st. And when you look at the competing bills from Republicans right now, it's like, okay, there's a reason why.
Yeah.
TheHill.com, moderate House Republicans introduce long shot ACA subsidy extension bill. In a nod to President Trump, the measure would also let people deposit half the amount of the subsidy into a health savings account and use it to pay for premiums and other health care costs. So, when the stakes are this high, responsible governance means securing 80% of what families need today rather than risking 100% of nothing tomorrow. We built this the right way with input from across the aisle and across the chambers with the clearest pathway to the president's desk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've got, where's my other one here? Okay, I got so much here. Senate Republicans float competing health care plans. And of course, it's not printed for
the from the Hill, the House GOP leaders to pitch health care options for vote next week. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise said Republican leaders will present their health care proposals. Again, this is from thehill.com. To the full House GOP conference on Wednesday to find out. They're so far behind the curve on this one. To find out which items have consensus for votes in the House next week. So let me read that again. Steve Scalise, the House Majority Leader, said Republican leaders will present their health care proposals to the full House GOP conference on Wednesday to find out which items have consensus for votes in the House next week. They're just getting around to a soft head count?
Yeah, you and I said back in October, you should know where you're going to go now.
They should have had a head count during the whole continuing resolution thing. They should have known where just a rough outline. Not a head count, a soft head count, a rough outline. Okay, here's where we're going to face wins on this idea, the headwinds, and this is where we're going to have trouble on this idea, so that you could parse them out and then have a rough plan knowing that the government shutdown was going to end. And at that point, when you were getting to that vote on ending the government shutdown, it should have gelled even further. And they're just now, later today, leadership's going to take it to the full conference and go, oh, well, what do you guys think? It's so maddening.
Okay, here it is. Let me just get it now because this is, again, from thehill.com. Small group of bipartisan lawmakers led by moderate House Republicans on Tuesday launched an effort to extend the expiring enhanced affordable health care subsidies as lawmakers try to find a combination of ideas that could break the current impasse. You've got 4 Republicans and 3 Democrats that are behind it. The bill would extend the enhanced subsidies for 2 years with new income limits and anti-fraud measures. We had talked about this plan the other day. Similar to other plans in the House or Senate, Republicans have cited waste, fraud, and abuse in ACA coverage, such as people being enrolled in plans they didn't sign up for, as a justification for not renewing the enhanced tax credits that expire at the end of the year. That's not the only justification, by the way. That's talk about throwing a Nathaniel Weeksell, throwing a editorial comment into it. That's in a nod to President Trump, the measure would let me just make sure here we've got it. In a nod to President Trump, the measure would also let people deposit half the amount of a subsidy into a health savings account and use it to pay for premiums and other health costs. What you're saying is it would give them the option to do it. How many people would actually do it? When the stakes are high, responsible governance means securing 80% of what families need today rather than risking 100% of nothing tomorrow, Representative Fitzpatrick said in a statement. We build this the right way, blah, 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 blah. Swing state and moderate Republicans have warned for weeks that the conference's majority will be lost in next year's midterms unless the GOP leaders overcome their distaste for Obamacare and extend the enhanced payments to prevent a spiral in out-of-pocket cost for more than 20 million Americans. This is something else that the Republicans face.
Yeah.
This is a problem when you want to cut. It's the problem, one of the problems with DOGE. We've talked about the first problem was don't overpromise and underdeliver, but the second was what the American public wants. And Republicans are not as conservative as they used to be.
Right.
They're not.
Right.
And we went through when it comes to the debt, Republicans believe the debt is horrible. And what do the majority of Republicans want cut? What's the only thing that they could find that a majority of Republicans want cut? And those majorities believe we could cut the budget by 40%. Foreign aid.
Yeah.
Everything else, Republicans want more money in the budget.
Yeah.
The problem for the Republicans here is Republicans and independents who want the government to continue to finance the cost. The other people will finance the cost of your health care, and future generations will finance the cost of your health care.
Look, the American people don't care about the cost of health care. They care about what they have to pay.
Yep.
And that may sound like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. No, that's exactly where we are. They don't care about the true cost of it. It's what is my out-of-pocket.
In the Senate, GOP leaders on Tuesday said they have coalesced around a plan from Senator Bill Cassidy and will offer it for a Thursday vote as an alternative to the Democrats' extension bill, where they're going to have a vote on that.
Yeah.
The bill does not extend the tax credits. Instead, it uses the money that would have been spent on the subsidies to fund HSAs for people enrolled in the lowest cost, high-deductible Obamacare plans. People would not be allowed to use the HSA funds to pay for abortions, which has been another major stumbling block for bipartisan support. Both the Democratic bill and the Cassidy bill, however, would need 60 votes to pass, so neither is likely to become law. Democrats say the Cassidy plan is a non-starter. So that's where you are right now. You're all the way to extend it for another 2 years. And, okay, voluntarily, if you wish to create and put half of your subsidy in an HSA, you can do it, which means you'd have to pay more for your actual health care plan, and the HSA would go somewhere else. How many people? Democrats are going to say yeah to that because they know not many people will actually do that.
Right. Well, it's
not forcing people to do it, and the same amount of money, they can say the same amount of money is being spent. And if you want higher premiums, you've chosen that yourself because you're taking half that money and putting it into an HSA.
Yeah, it will do nothing to lower the costs.
Right.
Nothing. What you're doing is you're giving people the option to take on an extra step in the process of providing their own health care. And that's what it comes down to. The ideal would be if you went with this idea that the GOP has been floating, since, I don't know, last month before, about giving them the money in an FSA or HSA type account, all of that subsidy money would go straight to them to that account, And then the idea would be, well, they're going to shop plans in order to find the cheapest plan and then use that money to help pay for the cost of that plan. Well, number one, people don't want that responsibility. It's a nightmare of a thing that again, we're just coming to the close of that annual Medicare, supplemental stuff. Well, I don't know what they must be spending. They spend more on that every year than they do political campaign ads. It's everywhere, and
well, at least there was no Joe Namath ads this year.
Well, okay.
I didn't see Joe Namath ads.
Yeah, no, I think he's doing reverse mortgages. But here's or gold. But the thing too is that
crypto.
Right, he's doing crypto. Senior crypto. Well, I've seen your crypto, and it's crap. But sorry. The whole thing is that imagine. In fact, my gosh, maybe I should shut up because maybe companies like ours would benefit from all the advertisements to explain how it works. Okay, here's what you do with that money. Here's what you can do, and there would be a massive advertising blitz. But what you're doing in effect is you're putting in more moving pieces. I know the idea, but you're expecting between now and January, and do I have to remind you, it's December 10th for people to learn all of that and understand it to the point of being able to go through that entire process. You're giving them a headache. Here's what, because you bring up, well, if you make it a choice, most people probably won't choose that. Because why?
But the other plan doesn't make it a choice. From what
I know, but here's the thing: if you're saying, if you're a proponent of this plan that makes it a choice, just go full on subsidy without the HSA FSA thing, because it's not. You're not going to change anything. You're not going to move anything. It's in the spirit of people taking control of their own health care, but they actually don't care because they don't care about the overall cost. They only care about their out-of-pocket. And if you give them money, now they're going to be forced to take that money and spend it, but they're also going to be forced to go through that process, and you're putting in way too many moving parts. We're at the end of 2025. And the GOP has not been able to fully dismantle Obamacare and bring down health care costs and the skyrocketing costs as a result of Obamacare. They had a chance.
Yeah, they had a chance in 2017.
In 2017, they promised to do it in the election season of 2016. And then it turned out the polls told them, no, don't move my cheese. And now here we are. It will be, 8 years later, and they're still trying to, because I got to be honest with you, this isn't resonating and won't resonate until you get to January and people are going, oh my gosh, what's happening with my health care? What's happening with my health care? Which is why I do believe the Republicans will cave and go full subsidy. You're not going to get the votes otherwise. And I don't know where that is, but if you go into 26 in your midterm season with your primaries starting March 3rd, oh my gosh, you're in trouble. Because everybody's going to be screaming all the local stories. These are the families that no longer have health care. The Republicans, the Republicans, the Republicans, the Republicans. And they know that. You're not going to be fiscally conservative on this issue. You've had years to do that and didn't do it.
It's not going to magically happen.
It's not going to happen.
Oh, conservative fiscal economics we're now going to do in December of 2025.
Right. Not that I don't want it to.
Yeah. Just saying But
it would be a Christmas miracle if it happened, which means it's probably not going to happen.
A Festivus miracle.
A Festivus miracle.
We're Red Eye Radio.
Brought to you by FPPF, Fuel Power Max.
Idling a diesel uses about a gallon of fuel per hour, which can cost you about $180 per week at $4.50 per gallon if your truck idles 8 hours a day. Idling easily can cost you a few thousand more in fuel alone per year, not including the added engine maintenance expense that results from excessive idling. In addition to operating costs, many governments impose no idling laws and regulations with fines as high as $25,000. Instead, there are many alternatives. An extra blanket for cold temperatures, window screens for when the weather is warm, bunk heaters, and various auxiliary power unit options abound in this day and age too, many powered just by batteries. Owner-Operator Business 101 is provided by Overdrive's Partners in Business program. Go to overdriveonline.com to the Partners in Business section of the website for more details on this and many other topics.
Brought to you by Shell Rotella, with advanced synthetic technology is designed to help keep your rig running with more mileage and less maintenance.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90-RED-EYE.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. And because here's what I see what happens. They're not going to be able to come to any type of a deal by the end of the year.
No.
Now,
No.
if they do come to an eventual deal on the Obamacare thing, I see it more as to what the House moderates that has two Democrats signed on for it. I see something like that happening, where the subsidies can continue, but the compromise is, if you wish to take some of your subsidies,
Give them a choice.
and put up to 50% in it, well, then you can do that. Now, the cost of your health care doesn't go down.
Right.
You just have to pay the other amount of the subsidy
Right.
that isn't covering what you have.
Right.
And so it would be where Democrats can say, well, we're still spending the same amount of money in this, and Obamacare still remains the same. And Republicans, I don't know if they have to convince anybody. Because the Republicans are saying no subsidies at all, and the other Republicans are saying the Republican Party isn't there. Obamacare is at its most popular right now. Why? Because people aren't paying the cost of their own health care.
Yep.
That's why.
Yep.
And a significant portion are Republicans.
Yep.
And we already went through it back in 2017 when they polled Republicans, and Republicans said, no, we love Obamacare. Get rid of any of the mandates, though.
Yeah. Well, and in the era of the cost of everything is too high,
Yeah.
you don't want to skyrocket in January when you've been screaming, as the GOP has been screaming, affordability, affordability, affordability. You don't want January to be it turn against you, with every liberal reporter in the living room of every family that can no longer afford their Obamacare screaming, unaffordable, unaffordable, unaffordable.
And then you get to the end of the month, and what happens at the end of the month, right? Didn't the deal just go to the end of January to shut down the government?
Yes.
Yeah, it didn't go further.
Right.
So then we start all over again.
Then you start all over again.
With the same thing, except the reality is hit, and nobody's getting their subsidies.
Right.
And all the stories around the local TV, national TV, about people that are losing their health care because of the Republicans.
The Republicans are buying into a fantasy that they can convince people of fiscally responsible values now and apply it to health care, and they've, by their own fault, haven't done this themselves for years. So it's not going to happen between now and January 1st. That's just not going to happen.
On our website, redeyeradioshow.com. Show info with stations, podcasts, and more. Red Eye Radio.
And he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Now, you do have, I don't want to forget Congressman Andy Biggs and what he introduced Tuesday. Okay?
All right.
Now, this is a 75-page bill that wants to put everything into, one particular package here. Here it is. Title I includes an expansion of health savings accounts, upfront pricing, transparency requirements, and new support for healthcare sharing ministries. It proposes reforms such as allowing individuals on Medicare Part A to contribute to HSAs, adding HSAs to pay insurance premiums, or using HSAs to pay premiums, and enabling both spouses to make catch-up contributions to a single HSA. Additionally, the legislation introduces I just slurred there. Will it help with people with alcohol problems? We'll cover that after my slurring there.
Yeah.
Additionally, the legislation introduces the Trump Health Freedom Accounts, a mechanism to redirect Obamacare subsidies directly to individuals in states that opt into the newly created waiver program. So it wouldn't be everybody. Under this provision, states may bypass certain Affordable Care Act requirements if they maintain high-risk insurance pools. The bill mandates that redirected funds be deposited into individual health accounts for use on qualified health care expenses, except those related to abortion or gender transition. Title II codifies various executive actions of the Trump administration. These provisions aim to provide small businesses and individuals with flexible, affordable alternatives outside the ACA constraints. The choice arrangements section allows employers to offer tax advantage accounts for employees to purchase their own coverage, and offers a new employer tax credit of $100 per employee per month in the first year of adoption. The legislation also outlines eligibility and non-discrimination rules for these plans and calls for clear employee notifications. Title III, the bill prohibits federal dollars from being used to fund abortions or gender transition procedures, building on longstanding Hyde Amendment protections. So... when you look at this, just from the substance of what is in there, it's not a bad start.
Is it a vote getter?
Not going there yet.
Okay.
I'm talking about just the side.
I'm watching the clock.
No. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah,
Why go through it if it doesn't have a chance?
Right.
Why are we wasting anybody's time to go through it?
This is my question is, why are you starting the fight for fiscal sanity now?
Well,
knowing
right,
you can't win.
But if you're serious about it, would this be something that would be needed in order to move away from nationalized health care? Because that's where we're headed to. If the subsidies continue, that's where we're headed.
Yeah, right.
And when you have, again, upfront pricing, these are things we've talked about before, and the fact where under the provision, states make the decision to bypass certain Affordable Care Act requirements if they maintain high-risk insurance pools. The bill mandates redirected funds to be deposited into individual health accounts to use on qualified health care expenses. And if you open up HSAs, if you give people and you get states, for example, because you're not going to get the liberal states to do this, but you start the process by getting some conservative states on it to give people choice where more people might want choice.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
to control their own health care.
Because then you could compare the results. If it gets its intended results down the road, you could say, look what we've done in these states. We were able to do this, and if other states would play along, if we go along with this plan, then it would help the people in their states as well. I mean,
okay, let's momentarily, just for the moment, let's keep out the politics of it. Keep out the politics of it.
Yeah. We don't want to get political.
Would it be a good start? Yes. Does it have a chance of passing? I doubt it.
Yeah, and again, we're looking 2026 right now in the face. Obamacare's been around for what, half a century? It seems like
15
how long
years,
is a century
right?
again?
15
years, yeah. And how long is a century again? Is it 10 years? How long is it?
In dog years, it's
in my years.
In talk radio years, it's 100 years.
Right. It's again. It's not that I don't want them to fight, but you're heading into a political season, and what is the biggest issue on the table?
Prices.
And
it doesn't matter what the price of, you've said many times, what the price of health care is. It's the price you pay. If somebody else is paying a significant portion of your subsidies, most Americans go, well, that's okay. The prices are down because I'm not paying the price somebody else
exactly.
is.
I love our listeners because I always get, in after conversations like this, I always get some email, and it will be, but shouldn't they be, and isn't this a good idea? And yeah, it is. But you're thinking like a conservative, and Republicans don't do that.
Not as often as they used to.
Not as often as they used to. And this is, this is the problem, is that, now you're going to start the fight? But
no.
Because in 2016...
if this couldn't pass in 2017...
Right. Then it's not going to happen now. And if you're taking on a battle that is going to get you to a January that has, again, Anderson Cooper is going to put his black T-shirt on, and he's going to go out to families. That's what he always does when he goes on the road. I don't know why. What's the deal with black T-shirts?
And he's going to expand his grief podcast to the grief of people that
can't afford health care. Right. So it will be everywhere because the liberal activists in those newsrooms want it to be everywhere. They know it works against Trump. They know it works against the GOP. You're going to move that cheese and make the cheese unaffordable. You're moving the government cheese and making it unaffordable. It was free up until, or it was, I guess, more affordable. We know that the costs are skyrocketing. You saw this coming. It's like waking up Christmas morning going, oh, maybe I should wrap some presents or get people things. And you're at this point, and you knew this was coming for months, and we're still all over the place. It just feels like if I walk through the halls of the Capitol right now, the Capitol building, there'd be spaghetti on the walls everywhere. They're just throwing it to see if it sticks. It's all of the, I got an idea. Well, what if we did, I tell you what if we did this? What if we did vaccines? No!
What I'm afraid is there'll be another, there'll be another shutdown over this, and Republicans will be to the plan that the moderates already have come up with the Democrats, which is extended 2 years with some reforms.
Right, which will be minor reforms, which will do nothing. And again, it won't be big enough to move anybody's health care cheese. and you go on with it. I'm
don't.
not saying you don't fight, but you're picking the wrong time. It's like saying, look, I'm pretty sure, back in the day, I'm pretty sure I could take Mike Tyson. I'm going to start training now for a fight next week. You're not. You've had all this time. You've had all this time knowing where this was going. You saw the prices skyrocketing. And now you feel this great sense of urgency to take on a battle that ultimately you can't win, that puts you back to where you were, even in a worse place in January.
And it's a place it's a place where the American people don't want to be.
Right.
Because things have gotten so bad. They don't care who pays for it. They just don't want to pay for it. And if you're saying that you've got to take more responsibility for your health care, and when you talk about HSAs, that's fine, but that's your money going into it.
Right.
When you open it up, when you say, okay, we need to open it up more for couples, whatever, the bottom line is if it's going to cost somebody more, Americans are not there right now. This is one of the worst times ever. And we warned the Republicans a long time ago, ignore prices to your own peril, and they have in other ways.
Right.
And, here it's just the reality. And I think Biggs's plan would be a great start.
No,
I'm not criticizing him, but where was the major push for something like this in 2017? The Republicans completely collapsed on Obamacare in 2017. And if they did then, now if you're saying we're going to take away major subsidies from 20 million people going into an election right now where you're getting killed in the polls,
right.
Not on anything but pricing.
Right.
When you look at all the other issues, Republicans and the administration doing fine. It's the economy, which means it's prices.
Yep.
And America isn't where you wish to be right now, but you weren't there in 2017.
Because the focus will be, again, on families that have someone or maybe a couple of people in the family that have chronic health issues, and now they can't deal with them. Now they can't see their doctor. They don't have a plan. They don't have the money to pay for it. You're building your own nightmare for the midterm. And these plans, which, again, have some promise to them, have zero promise of getting passed. If you're going to keep up the fight, then there should have been a long-term campaign out there to educate people as to how it can be cheaper for everybody. And you've never done that, not once. You're going to go to the gym and try and bench press 400 on your first day? Good luck.
We are Red Eye Radio.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. It's going to be. I love doing the show every day, but I wish we could just start vacation now and come back in a month and see where everything is. But the month would just last 5 minutes because I don't think I could sit for a month on vacation. It would drive me crazy.
It would drive me batty. Yeah. That's the whole thing. Is that, if for some reason they decide, well, we're going to stay during the Christmas break, I'm going to go, oh, no,
they're not.
Please don't do that. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they'll do that at all. But if they did, please don't do that. You're going to ruin my vacation.
Look, Republicans are not going to give up Christmas, and Democrats are not going to give up the celebration of the winter solstice.
That's right. It's
so important to them.
Two key celebrations going on there.
Yes,
but what will happen over the next week is the question. There's so many things that right now that are on the watch list. The Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, the meeting today, and then he'll have his press conference this afternoon. the market, according to Jeff Cox at CNBC, he says the market seems to be confident that there's going to be another rate drop. I don't know if I carry that confidence, and I've been watching the market over the last few days, and there's been relatively little movement. So I'm not sure.
You don't think 0.25% just to put the confidence? Golly, I just hate how we figure out interest rates. It just sucks.
I know. It could happen. It's just that I think I'm 50-50 on it because of the board, the Fed board seemed to be half and half last time around. So I don't know. We'll see. And then SCOTUS on tariffs. That decision could come down at any time. And then, of course, healthcare. What they're going to do about that.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.